I inspected 3 RVs and found 3 major problems. Hi everybody, it's Deb from Deb's RV Services and welcome to today's video. I'm a certified inspector and I'm a registered technician. Today I'm going to talk about 3 inspections that I did and 3 major items that I found. So these inspections were all checklist inspections. The owners wanted to be with me. They wanted to go around the RV together where they received education and we could look and find things and then they could make their decision based on what we both found. So the first RV I inspected was an Integra Odyssey, and the buyer actually purchased the RV already, but he wanted me to look it over to see if I could find anything else that needed possible repair. The RV was actually in really good shape, but I did find something pretty major. So when I'm doing an inspection, I'm looking at the tires and I'm looking behind the tires and I'm looking at the suspension and the axles and the leaf springs and all that stuff. What I found was a U-bolt that was loose. And the U-bolt helps keep together the leaf springs. So it's a really important, crucial part of that whole mechanism behind the tire. And it was loose and wobbling. So the reason why this is so crucial is that it's easy to repair. So it's not that it's a difficult repair or would be very costly, but it could be down the road. If you didn't have this looked at and we didn't see that it was loose, it would loosen more over time and then that whole thing might fall off. So it's a really good thing that he had me do the inspection because that is something really major and over time it could be a worse situation, but it is an easy fix. If you are interested in getting your own free checklist so that you can inspect an RV on your own, go to my website at debsrvservices.net, subscribe to my newsletter, and you will automatically get sent a free checklist. So the second RV was a Grand Design Imagine travel trailer. Someone had it out at a storage lot in the Phoenix area, and my client wanted me to go out there and inspect it. So he met me there and we did a checklist inspection together. And I found a major item that I had to question and found out that it's not something that can actually be repaired, but it needs to be replaced. And that's a Furrion refrigerator. They're 12-volt refrigerators, and they're pretty popular in these newer RVs. The problem is that, like, this one was making this god-awful noise.
It sounds like the motor. It doesn't sound like anything rattling.
Sounds like it's coming from down there. When I discovered that, I talked to some of my technician friends and they said, yeah, those things just need to be swapped out and replaced. There's really not a repair for it. So I consider that something major because refrigerators are not cheap, and some of these refrigerators that they have out there, these 12 volts, really can't be repaired, and the whole thing needs to be replaced, and that's no fun. So, but other than that, that travel trailer did not look bad. It was in nice condition, and I think the guy bought it. I didn't check with him after, but he seemed pretty clear that he was going to purchase it at the end of our inspection. My third inspection was an older Pleasureway van. My client contacted me and wanted me to meet her at the seller's location so that she could have a consultation education while I was inspecting the van. So the owners were given the list prior to me showing up of what they needed to do to prepare for the inspection. When I got there, it wasn't even plugged in and there was no water in the tank. So we had to wait about 45 minutes while we had the owner turn around the RV, get it into position, get it hooked up, add water to the tank, and some other odds and ends. So we got this inspection started and I found a huge red flag right away, and that was with the tires. Tires were dated 2018, but the owners claimed they were brand new. When I took a look at the tires, not only were they old, but they were completely dry rotted, and all of the tires looked the same way. So because they were sort of watching us while we were doing the inspection, the one family member was sitting in a chair, and then the owner's wife, she kept coming out asking us questions. They overheard me telling my client how they were older and they were dry rotted. And they insisted that they were new. There's no way they were new. And I said, no, look at the date shows 2018, and they certainly are dry rotted. You can see it by looking at the cracks all over the sidewall. So I don't believe that the owner's wife intentionally misrepresented the tires. I don't think she really understood how tires worked. Now, as far as the other family members, I have no idea if they understood tires or not. And I can't judge and assume that they did, but I think that they were upset that I was pointing out that the tires were aged. The other thing that I found that was really a red flag was that the inverter was missing. So they had gotten rid of the inverter, so the control panel didn't even work. They stuck a 1000-watt inverter up in one of the cargo bays. Well, actually, it was up in like a cubby. So inside of the RV, up in a cubby. And that only worked if you plugged something into the actual inverter itself. So it wasn't connected to anything like any of the outlets. So that was not good either. And then, I mean, other things, we couldn't get the furnace to turn on. There was a leak under the sink. This RV sat for a while, and that's what we concluded. And after speaking to the owner, the RV really sat for a long time. So that does happen. Things, when they sit, they wear even from sitting, or things don't work correctly. So I know that my client didn't end up purchasing this, which I'm kind of happy about, because I think that she would have ended up having to put a lot of money in it. And there was a water stain, so one of the windows looked like it had leaked at some point. Now, I didn't see any dry rot or any rotted wood or anything underneath it, but there were stains on the walls. So they're like padded walls, and they were stained. So I think it's a good idea that she didn't buy this RV. So anyway, those inspections, every one of them had something major in them. And most of them, I just pointed out the one thing. But with every one of those inspections, right there, you saved yourself so much money by either negotiating the price down or walking away. So that right there pays for the inspection itself. It's so important to get these inspections. There's a lot of life safety items that I find during these inspections. I mean, think about the loose bolt. Think about the tires. Those are life safety items. The refrigerator isn't life safety, but it's a very annoying noise, and they would want to end up replacing it. So, and that's costly. So you want to find these things out. Sometimes you don't always see these things, because if somebody does a walkthrough with you, you're not looking underneath it and checking all the bolts. That's why you hire somebody like me. I can get out there and I do all that work for you, and it's totally worth it. So if you got something out of this video, please comment below and tell me if you would buy any of these RVs. And also, let me mention to you as well, if you want to book some one-on-one time with me, click on the link in the description. I have available times on my calendar. You can get 30 minutes or 60 minutes. If you're preparing to get your new or used RV, or you want to go through that checklist that I sent you with the newsletter, and you want to learn a little bit more on how to do these things, feel free to book some time with me. I'm happy to do it. So thank you, and I'll see you on the next video.